stories. It is, of course, very common these days to discuss the fact that science fiction is not about prophecy and is a poor prophet, but at least in 1939, one of its leading producers was viewing it as prophecy, and a magazine devoted to science fiction felt enough of that theory to run it as an editorial. My, how times have changed. Here is They Changed the World feature, and this is the life of Albert Einstein, and there's Al. And here's an illustration of the experiment that proved that light bent, and Albert playing the violin, the universal theory of everything, and of course next month we'll have the life of Madame Curie. The Scientific Hall of Fame. I believe the first ever declared Hall of Fame. And it says here, some stories are forgotten almost as soon as printed, others stand the test of time. Because The Eternal Man by D.D. Sharp has stood this test, we are nominating it for science fiction's Hall of Fame. In each issue, we will nominate and reprint another favorite of the past. This department has been inaugurated in response to scores of requests from science fiction readers. In writing the startling stories, please vote for your favorites. We will adopt as many of your suggestions as possible. We are endeavoring to bring you the very best that has been written in this field and to make realities of your memories. By thus bringing a new permanence to the science fiction gems of yesterday, we hope to perform a real service to the science fiction devotees of today and tomorrow. I believe that The Eternal Man by D.D. Sharp has largely been forgotten since 1939. Here's the illustration by Howard Brown. Still old Zorich sat, a corpse, and unburied, motionless but alive. The people listed are Poe, Wells, Doyle, and Verne. So that's who Mort Weisinger considered to be the progenitors or the grandfathers or whatever have you of the science fiction field. Thrills in Science. We cover Joseph Priestley. Fate Reveals the Magic Ray with Rontgen. We're getting back to the end here, and it's fairly fragile towards the end, so there may be a little bit of messing around in order to show you these things. And this is Dr. Robert Koch. And Columbus of Space. Just lost a bit of a page here. A science fiction question box. What is absolute zero? How well do animals see? What is a Thurblig? What will the fate of the Earth be? Promo for Thrilling Wonder Stories. Title page for Ian Dobinder's Science Island, and the same robot from the cover, and the tiny little people hiding. And let's see, what else? Have to do this left-handed. Here's the letter column. The ether vibrates. And we have letters from Arthur K. Barnes, Edmund Hamilton, Otis Adelbert Klein, Manly Wade Wellman, Earl and Otto Binder, Arthur Burks, Isaac Asimov, and John Gayunta. Arthur said that word has reached me, anent the companion magazine to Thrilling Wonder Stories. Congratulations, and here's wishing Startling Stories a super success in the science fiction world. Otis says, Startling Stories is the answer to a science fiction serialist's prayers. Every pseudoscientific novel I have ever written has been published in serial form. At last I found a science fiction magazine that won't split up stories regardless of the continuity. So here's hoping that I become one of your future contributors. Interesting that he refers to his own writing as pseudoscientific. Manly Wade Wellman says the Stanley G. Weinbaum novel The Black Flame should set Startling Stories off to a swell start. Thanks for the preview news regarding the magazine. Your scheduled list of science features sounds perfect, particularly the Jack Binder strip They Changed the World. And I bet Startling Stories changes the science fiction world. Going on down, Asimov writes, there are 5 people in my family, and we all want a new science fiction magazine. Page or two, a scientific crossword puzzle. The typical rupture ad. Another promo for Thrilling Adventures. We've got more letters from Seymour Kapitensky, Grace Coble, women did read science fiction, and Charles Ward, and William Novak. And William is a Burroughs fan and says, put me down as very much in favor of a companion magazine to TWS. I like the suggestion of W.C. Scheibel of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, regarding longer stories in the new magazine. This is an illustration of how questions were asked through the letter column of Thrilling Wonder Stories regarding the new publication, and those suggestions were folded into what was done with Startling. And here's the back cover with an ad for getting rid of your piles and the many reasons why you might have them. Here is the spine, and thus concludes our tour.